Give us more with the local.
Yeah, thanks, Beck. Absolutely. We'll get into that further into the show, but right now we're going to focus on our beautiful but above average temperatures, 88 right now. Partly cloudy. You can see some wispy clouds in the distance over the beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium. And we have a little bit of a breeze east-southeast to cool it off a little bit for those parents in town. Once again, mid-80s to upper 80s pervade across the Georgia area with that Apalachicola maybe feeling a little bit of onshore influence, 81 degrees with some cooler temperatures. Muggy meter, we have a little grim face, but overall not hanging too bad. Jacksonville, Pensacola, though, much different story, much more humid. And our humidity is going to increase in our forecast. And of course, South Florida, once again, steamy, and it is a steam bath out there. Just try to hang in there, go to the beach, make the best out of it. But tonight, Tallahassee dropping off a little bit to 69 degrees, partly cloudy. We have some calm winds. So if you're waking up tomorrow morning for that 5K and you're a brave soul, it looks like conditions will be pretty good for that. For tonight's headlines, once again, FSU Family Weekend. So bring your kids out. It's going to be a good time. FSU versus Syracuse tomorrow. And now we'll actually start to get to our local one here. Temperature at Almanac, 88 degrees, high temperature, beautiful conditions over Doak Campbell Stadium, of course. Current radar, some showers coming through, and temperatures, once again, as we saw, very warm in the 80s. So now we're getting to our wind speeds coming out of the east, southeast, around 8 miles an hour. A pretty nice breeze, bringing in some of those more humid conditions, and that is indicated by our dew points. You can see this dark shade of green. That is indicating upper 60s, low 70s. A little more moderate in Georgia, 66, 64. If you're in Donaldsonville, you might feel a little better than the rest of us. Future radar, maybe a passing shower, some clouds, nothing too much. And then looking across tomorrow, nothing but clouds. Some high clouds coming in the area, but it looks like, I will say, we're going to have rain for most of our area, except if you're watching us over in southeast and central Florida and in the Big Bend area, you might see a shower or two. But overall, conditions are going to be very dry, pretty warm. Make sure you bring sunscreen, so you hydrate for tomorrow's game against Syracuse. And especially if you're a visitor from Syracuse, you're going to want to stay hydrated. 70 degrees in Tallahassee tonight, a little bit warmer on the water. 74 in Apalachicola, definitely a warm one if you're going out to Alligator Point, St. George Island. Some warm conditions for sure. Once again, dropping off into the upper 60s tomorrow. And Panama City, if you want to go out for that beach forecast, water 79. Beautiful to cool off from that warm air temperature 85. Maybe a shower or two, but overall I think it's going to be pretty dry and seas at 1 foot. So pretty good conditions. The week ahead, some rain increasing into the area, but looks like we're going to start to get to a more dry pattern and a little cooler. Now we're going to hand it off to Chandler for his forecast.
That is right, and really taking a look at most of the southeast, we're going to be kind of the same story. Oh, interesting. Look at this. We got ourselves a little fly on the camera. Looking up at Gainesville, we have 85 degrees and basically sunny skies with a few clouds. And then Atlanta, same story. You can see the skyline, quite beautiful. Some bigger, more built-up clouds, some cumulus and maybe even a cumulonimbus cloud. And Blacksburg, not a cloud in the sky. And then, of course, Bowling Green, seeing flies in their sky. Looking at the current radar, you can really see this rain associated with a cold front that is kind of making its way a little bit slowly through the west portions of the southeast. And taking a closer look at Florida, you can really see that there's some showers that are coming off from the sea onto land in the Florida Peninsula specifically, and they're actually going to make their way across and move out of the Fort Myers and Tampa area, so really just making their way across the Florida Peninsula. Current temperatures, well, we're seeing 80s in Florida Peninsula, but then once you get up into like Tupelo, Mississippi, it's only 80. And you're looking at Little Rock, 78. So really a difference in just the southeast. It's quite crazy what you can see when you see a lot of rain and a lot of clouds that really keep the solar radiation and the sunlight just down to a bare minimum. Taking a look at the current wind directions, you can see that there's some winds coming out of the northwest in the western portions of the southeast. And also kind of the same story, although more so the northeast when you're taking a look at Orlando. Tampa having some strong gusts that are associated with those showers that are making their way from east to west. And taking a look at the dew points, we're also seeing a lot of 60s and even 70 once you get into Jacksonville. And woo, look at these, 71 in Shreveport, and even potentially a few that are even higher than that sprinkled into Texas and parts of Louisiana. So quite humid there. And you're looking at water vapor. This is associated with a cold front, again, that's going to make its way through. So again, it's kind of pushing these showers along in our area. And taking a look at the next few days, you can see that there's going to be the showers develop, especially across the northern portions. And we can see a few spotty showers as well in the deep south. SPC storm outlook, a few thunderstorms, but nothing severe. So again, pretty quiet weather overall. And taking a look at tonight's lows, 60s across most all the area. Maybe the exception is Charleston with a little bit of the lower 60s. So again, pretty warm for most of the southeast. And taking a look at tomorrow's highs, again, we're looking at 80s, upper 80s for most areas until you start getting down into Florida. Again, same story. It's really just going to be quite muggy conditions. But I enjoy just seeing what we're going to see tomorrow, especially here in Tallahassee with the family weekend. It's going to be quite a lovely day. But now we're going to toss things off to Becca to take a look at the National.
Yes, for our National, we have quite a bit of weather going on. Lots of things going on here, as you'll see on the screen behind me. Up over here, we have a extremely long occluded front. You'll see it actually stretches across all the way from Texas all the way up to Canada, actually from Mexico to Canada, the length of our whole country. So that occluded front's going to impact a lot of the area. On the other side, we also have an occluded, slightly cold front coming through off the coast into over Seattle. So that definitely brought some rain and is going to be impacting further portions of the Northwest. Looking at our satellite and radar, you can see now here the cloud cover and the precipitation associated with those fronts. Further south, we have the precipitation. You can see some thunderstorms for that low pressure that's sitting just south of Houston, moving off the coast. Likewise, you can see the precipitation and the cloud cover for the low pressure that is sitting further north by North Dakota and Minnesota. Likewise, some more precipitation, clouds it looks mostly for the low pressure, the cold front moving from into the northwest. Taking a closer look at our north Midwest area, we're looking at specifically the precipitation that's coming in from that low pressure up in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota area. So you'll see there are a few thunderstorms. It looks like mostly rain coming across. That's going to be pushing across 29 and for the conditions. Looking further south for our weather that's moving into Oklahoma and Wichita. The weather is going to be pushing in from Spain into Wichita, so it looks like that will be coming. And finally, the ending point of that cold front with our low pressure, bringing in storms coming off the coast of Corpus Christi and pushing further east. That is actually going to come and follow us along all the way to Tallahassee. So these storms associated with that occluded front is what's going to increase our rain chances later in the week as that front makes its way to Tallahassee. Looking big picture, things are still pretty warm across the country. So our coldest is sitting at 62 in Seattle and our warmest being 84 in San Antonio. Things are still pretty warm. We really haven't seen the full effect of those fall temps really reach in quite yet. For our 8 to 14 day outlook, we are looking at below average temps in most of the west and northwest and likely above average in the remainder of the rest of the country. Us in Tallahassee, we're looking at above average temps, which means definitely a few warmer days. Dew points, you'll see there's a nice divide between the east and the west portion of the country, with the east being fairly moist and the west being dry. Unfortunately, we are sitting in that moist section with us sitting at 66 for our dew point. Drought monitor, unfortunately, the west is still experiencing some pretty severe drought. So you'll see that most of the west is under some sort of drought range. So we're looking at exceptional and extreme for large portions of California, unfortunately. For our future radar, clouds are going to continue moving across the country. So again, those fronts are really going to be pushing some precipitation through. And for tonight's temps, we're looking not too bad, sitting at 47, cooler up north, and tomorrow's highs are going to be very nice, again, nice and warm for now. We haven't seen those fall temps move in quite yet, so definitely some warm days ahead. Now I'm going to hand things over to Hayden to give us a look at what's going on out in the Atlantic.
Yeah, thanks, Becca. Not a bad national forecast at all. Nothing to really complain about. So, looking at a tropical forecast, right now we've gone through the full supplemental hurricane list, all the way from Anna, and well, we're about to go to Wanda, and Victor right now is our current storm, and of course we have Major Hurricane Sam in the ocean, and that's what we're going to get to right now. This is a monster. This is one of the storm of the centuries, 150 miles per hour winds, pressure 937 millibars. Category 5 is 156 miles per hour. As I don't believe it's forecast to be Category 5, but it is right there in that high extreme range, especially for this latitude, one of the strongest storms at this latitude staying south in the Atlantic. Moving north at 20 miles an hour. Bermuda is this little island right here, so right now we may be getting some little side rain bands, and they are under a tropical storm warning because of that. So if you're watching us in St. George, maybe some elevated wave action, definitely want to hold up on your boating adventures. If you're on a cruise ship right now, it might be a little choppy. Hopefully you leave after the storm. But this is going to continue migrating to the north, northeast, and so Bermuda should be spared with nothing but some high serious outflow and maybe some gusty winds of tropical storm force strength. Some dry air surrounding Sam on either side, but it does have a moist channel and outflow, which is helping sustain its strength right now. That is one of the key things. So Hurricane Sam going to continue to stay major hurricane strength all the way through possibly Sunday, and it's going to traverse itself into the North Atlantic, likely starting its extratropical transition, especially considering its fall. So a fun fact, our models are a pretty consistent agreement bringing it to the north, and we see this crazy clip model, and this is actually a climate projection model of what storms do in this area. So it's not exactly seeing the center, so that's why it's a little informative for you guys, a little education segment. Anyways, tropical storm Victor, 65 miles per hour. Here's Africa, and here's the storm. So we're way east for the October 1st. Is definitely odd to see this. But the good thing is it's going to continue moving west-northwest down to the open ocean and not impacting any landmass except for some ships. Water vapor, you can see some moist cloud tops, especially with that center. Although it is a little sheared off to the north and west. So not ideal conditions for tropical storm Victor right now. And that is indicative of this weakening to a tropical storm by Monday and then becoming a remnant low on the middle of the Atlantic, not really doing much. And our projection models show the same thing, drifting off into the central Atlantic, hopefully not doing too much. Now, as we head to October, the mean climatology shifts into the Caribbean. Right now, we have temperatures way above 80, approaching 90. So right now, nothing imminent showing on the models, just something to keep in tuned that Florida hurricane season is not over yet, and if something were to form, we could see something significant. So anyways, now we're going to bring it over to our desk with Chandler.
To 48 hours. So really honestly, let's look at these plans for tonight. You can see that family photos are at Westcott 4 to 7 p.m. and cookout on the green from 4 to 9 p.m. So a lot of things you can do for the next few hours. And FSU Circus, they have a performance at 9 p.m. So it's quite an enjoyable evening. And taking a look at tomorrow, you have the 5K fun run that Hayden was talking about earlier. And it's going to go from 8 to 8:30. And then we'll have the tailgate, of course, to hype everybody up for the Syracuse game. So the tailgate and brunch and Landis games all going to be from 9 to 12 p.m. So you can tag along at any time that you feel. And then we have, of course, FSU versus Syracuse starting up at 3:30 p.m. So a lot of things going on Saturday. Looking forward to the game especially. We'll see if they can pull off a win so we can all go to dinner and be happy instead of being depressed the last 4 weeks. But taking a look at Sunday, we really can see a few more activities, starting with the sunrise yoga, so from 9 to 11 a.m. You expect to enjoy a bit of that. And, of course, if you don't really enjoy yoga, you can go do some fitness at the Leech from 10 to 11 a.m., and then we'll have the Paint a Pot at ASLC from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So many things to do this weekend. And of course, if you have your family with you, that's great. Obviously, for those that don't, well, you still have a lot of things you can do this weekend. We have the block party that's going to be going on tonight as well down in College Town. But now we'll throw things to Hayden to take another look at what's going on in the weather world.
I haven't been to one in a while. So right now it's beautiful conditions over Doak, and it should contain itself, especially if you're going out to the volleyball game tonight. It's indoors, but from your commute to there and back, it's going to be beautiful. 86 degrees as you're walking to the game right now. Coming back from the game, hopefully after a victory versus those NC State Wolfpack, it'll be 80 degrees and clear skies. Beautiful conditions. Bring your parents out. We beat Florida last week. I think we're on a pretty hot streak, so hopefully we keep that going. Dew points, it'll be a little humid if you're making your way out to any of your sports venues or watching maybe a kid practice out in the local Tallahassee sports. I know Friday night, some high school football, but you can't complain without lack of showers. It'll be great. The only game in town really is I-10 in the east towards Jacksonville and some showers over by Pensacola, but Tallahassee in the middle and very sunny. So the big game, FSU versus Syracuse, staying in the mid-80s, dropping off to the lower 80s by 7 p.m. There's going to be some reflection off those sands, so bring your sunscreen. You don't want to be burnt. Make sure you stay hydrated, lots of water, and most importantly, hopefully we get a victory. We're 0-4 now. It's really depressing. Well, also, if you didn't miss today's game, we play UNC Sunday. Conditions look to be pretty good as well, except there might be an isolated shower on your way back from the game, so bring an umbrella in case, but I think Sunday should still be pleasant conditions. So we'll have some clear skies in the morning. The afternoon we'll get some heating, get some cloud cover. Shouldn't be anything too heavy. The only thing I would concerned about is maybe something east of I-10. And if you're driving back, let's say you live in Pensacola after the game and you're heading west, you might run into some rain in the car, but it should be pretty good. So our 3-day forecast, 80s sticking around, humid conditions, and maybe some thunderstorms returning on Monday. Now we're going to hand it off to Becca.
We're going to take a look at what they are expecting. Currently, Panama City Beach, sun is setting. You can see behind me, beautiful sunset at Panama City Beach. For our satellite and radar, not too much on the radar right now, but as Jason was just saying, we are looking at some showers that could potentially impact the rest of the area over the next few days. So currently, not too much on the radar, especially for Tallahassee, but things can develop over the next few days. For the rest of Florida, again, there are some spotty showers, especially a little bit further south, and nothing that's super put together, but pop-up showers looks like along I-95, and if you happen to be on 275, so those would be some areas to watch. For South Florida, again, we're looking at those showers moving from the east over to the west, going out into the Gulf. So it looks like most of it has reached the Gulf by now, but again, if you happen to be driving south on 75, you may run into some showers in your travels. Current temps are still pretty warm. I love this weather. I know a lot of you are super excited for fall, but I am loving the heat. And luckily, it is going to stay that way. So we're looking at 85 in Pensacola, 86 in Tallahassee, with our warmest being 92 in Tampa. Further south, they do have some warmer temps, however, not too much warmer than we're seeing. The range for Florida isn't too big at the moment. For our muggy meter, we unfortunately are sitting at a little muggy in Tallahassee. However, it could be worse. As you'll see down in Key West, Miami, they are at very humid. So we are having an okay time, while South Florida is definitely getting some of those higher dew points with that humidity. The future radar, this is what's going to show some of the precipitation and weather developing as that front I had mentioned earlier comes across. You can see it right here. As it moves across, it's going to bring some precipitation, some cloud cover. That is where our rain chances are going to increase, specifically for Tallahassee, but as that moves east, that is definitely something to pay attention. If you happen to be traveling back on I-10 going east towards Jacksonville over the next few days, make sure you're staying up to date on the weather just in case you see any pop-up showers. I know rain can get real heavy real fast in this part of the country. For tonight in Florida, we're looking at 70 degrees in Tallahassee, 73 in Tampa, the warmest being 79 in Key West. I'm perfectly happy with 70 degrees in Tallahassee. Nice, cooler night if you happen to be doing any of those outdoors activities like the block party that we had just mentioned. Tomorrow's highs, we're looking at 89 degrees for Tallahassee, with that being the warmest in the area, it seems. Well, Tampa has us beat with 92. For the rest of the country, Miami's looking at high 80s for the next 3 days, 87, 88. And for Tampa, they're actually the warmest in Florida right now. So 92, 90, 90. And for our friends in Orlando with their 50th anniversary for Walt Disney World, they're going to be having some high temps. Make sure you're hydrated if you're there. With our friends in Jacksonville, they have some rain and showers with temps 83 and 86. I'm going to hand things over to Chandler now, and he's going to give us a look at some of the other future stuff.
That is right. Taking a look at the temperature almanac. Today, we reached a high of 88 degrees. On average, we're right around where we would expect to be. 86 is usually our average for this time of year. So I complain that this is not fall weather, but that's based on me and my North Carolina perspective. Looking at the low, though, we did kind of start off a little bit warmer, around 69 instead of the average of around 65. But again, the conditions were pretty much what you'd expect for this time of year. 88 currently with the sun trying to set. Of course, once we get out of daylight savings time, we'll finally get to show you these beautiful sunsets. But you can see that we have some of these altocumulus clouds and, of course, some nice clear blue skies in patches. And looking at the current radar, you can see some radar clutter. So these aren't actual showers, but you can take a look over here. We see a little bit maybe over there north of Panama City and a little bit close to Lake City as well, but nothing in our Big Bend region. Taking a look at what we saw today, we started off in the upper 60s, low 70s, and then we quickly made our way up into the 80s by noon, and then we really made it up into the upper 80s and close to 90 by about 4 p.m. So we really, honestly, just now are starting to cool back down. And taking a look at those current local temperatures, again, I said cool down 1 degree. But looking up at Thomasville, they're at 86. And Apalachicola is really actually the coolest one, even though it's the farthest south, at 81, thanks to those Gulf Coast waters providing a little bit of breeze and a little bit of just activity in general. Taking a look at the winds, they're all coming out of the east. So again, we have some eastward moving winds as well. So it doesn't really help because you really want to see those winds coming from the north. And taking a look at the muggy meter, we're muggy. That's just Florida this time of year. Taking a look at the lows for tonight, though, 70 degrees here in Tallahassee, 74 in Apalachicola. So they might be lower than us, but they won't get as low as us. And Bainbridge, 69. So overall, it's going to be pretty much what you have seen for the past 24 hours. So rinse and repeat. For the beach forecast, 85 degrees, and the waters, 79 degrees. So again, really enjoyable conditions if you are trying to get out to Panama City Beach. Look at those waves, beautiful. That's what you want to see during this time of year. Of course, we don't want to see the hurricanes that tend to try to form in October in the Gulf. But right now, of course, we have no activity, so take advantage of that while you can see that. Also in Tallahassee tonight, 69 degrees as well. That's going to be basically a rinse and repeat of what we've seen the last 24 hours. And for the week ahead, again, 80s for the next couple of days, and then we'll start seeing those showers start to roll in from that front that's slowly making its way across the area. Now taking things back to Becca on the wall.
We're going to take one more look at our weekend forecast for Tallahassee. I know weekends are my favorite time of the week, so make sure that you guys are paying attention so that you can concrete your plans knowing what's happening with the weather. Currently, again, that sun is setting behind me. I always say it's a beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium. I'm hoping it'll be just as beautiful tomorrow. We can celebrate with a victory for FSU football. Currently, again, not too much going on, a little bit of ground scatter, but no precipitation currently over Tallahassee. We have our Friday night block party going on tonight. I believe it starts at 6 or 6:30, so definitely going on tonight and going on for the next few hours. It's going to start cooling down, so we saw that low being at 70 degrees, so between 70 and 69. That is what we're looking at for tonight if you are out having fun, enjoying all of FSU's activities. For our dog walk forecast tomorrow, if you have your family dog in town, I've seen some of those this weekend. We're looking 7 a.m. It's going to be 69 degrees. Not too hot by 9 a.m. at 72. However, you might want to get your walk in before 11 as it's going to be 82 degrees. Saturday, we're looking at warm temps. Make sure you stay hydrated. Bring your sunscreen. 88 degrees for kickoff at 3:30. Going to cool down just a little bit for 87 at 5 and 82 at 7 p.m. Future radar. Some stuff moving through tomorrow, so make sure that you are paying attention, and we are going to let Hayden wrap things up for us tonight.
Yes, thanks, Becca. Yeah, for sure. Right now, Parents Weekend is here. A lot of things are happening around FSU. We have a home football game. We have the block party. We have volleyball games. We have paint a pot, picnics. This is a great time to be in Tallahassee. The weather is going to cooperate. It's going to be on the little warm side. It looks like any rain chances are going to hold off to the beginning of next week when we might be in a library anyway, so it shouldn't matter for our purpose. We are starting to get to October 1st. Fall weather should be coming up in the next 2 weeks, although with this weather, who knows how long it's going to stay warm. Until then, I recommend hitting the pool in your apartment, bringing your parents maybe to the beach. The Res is a great place. It might be a great place to take them. Anyways, follow us on Twitter, FSU Weather. We love to see your tweets. Like us on Facebook. Let us know if we're doing well or if we're really bad. We'll take it as criticism. Watch live on YouTube. You're probably watching us right now if you are. Recommend to our followers. And of course, follow us on Instagram. Send them some sunsets. Send them some cool cloud pictures you think if you want to know why. We'll be glad to explain to you here. That is our purpose for you. And of course, for some of our young viewers that we know we have, thank you for watching. We really care about you. Anyways, this is Hayden Wilder for FSU Weather. Have a good one, Tallahassee.